And so watching game film, watching yourself speak, watching yourself perform, watching yourself execute needs to be a priority so you can actually grow, so you can actually learn. Welcome to the It Matters podcast. I'm your host, Walter Perez, and let's dive in as we help you grow your mindset and elevate your leadership. Hey everybody, welcome back to the It Matters podcast. Thanks for joining me on another episode. I hope you've been enjoying some of the episodes we've released lately, because you know what? We're talking about things that matter. And here through the Leader Code, we want to be able to help you become a better leader. And my desire is that you will not only take some of these thoughts, ideas, and principles, but you will apply them so you can lead well. Because regardless of where you're at, we can always improve. We can always sharpen this skill set, and it matters. And it matters whether we're talking about, how we think, the mindset aspect of things, the personal growth, how we lead ourselves, or how we lead others. It all matters, and it's all super important. And so I actually wanted to bring you a topic today, one that I have taken very important interest in and tried to focus on, and that is communication. Now, I don't want to talk about just any type of communication, even though communicating is important and communication is part of a leader's life. I actually want to talk about communicating from stage, communicating to a group of people. Now, before some of you go away and say, this doesn't apply to me, I assure you, you'll be able to learn something from this, because communicating needs to be part of a leader's life, and it will affect you one way or another. Whether we're communicating one-on-one, whether we're communicating in a group of people, communication is always going to matter. And one thing that I have done is that communication is part of my life. Whether I am communicating in a coaching scenario, whether I'm communicating to a group of people, here, the It Matters podcast, I do weekly episodes, whether I'm interviewing somebody, having a conversation with someone, or I'm doing these solo episodes, I am always communicating. And I also communicate on stage, whether I'm teaching a principle, I'm speaking about something, or I'm hosting, interviewing, or whatever that looks like. I am actually always communicating. And though I fully understand that I have not arrived, and I continue to sharpen this skill set because I want to master this craft, the question is, what am I doing that allows me to continue to do this and continue to improve, not only on a daily but weekly basis? And that is this principle of I do game film watching. What does that mean? If you're a sports person, or you play on a team, whether you love to watch sports or play them, whether it's football, soccer, basketball, hockey, whatever you want to insert in there, one of the things that they do is they watch game film. And that is this idea that you're going to go back and watch how you performed. You're going to watch and take notes on how the other team played, how you played, what you did well, what you didn't do so good. All of that matters. And so watching game film is going to be super important. And I think it matters in this. So I'm going to tell you what I do, what I've done and continue to do. And then we'll talk about the principle behind this a little bit. Anytime I speak, anytime I do a podcast, I am one of the individuals, and it's my number one priority to go back and watch how I did. Now, it's not a prideful thing about like, hey, I just want to make myself feel good. No, I want to come in from a posture of humility and a posture of learning. And when we learn, then we actually go and apply it and we go change things. But how are you going to know if you don't actually go and give yourself the opportunity to see what could improve? And so watching game film, watching yourself speak, watching yourself perform, watching yourself execute needs to be a priority so you can actually grow, so you can actually learn. So what do we want to do? We want to look, we want to listen, and we want to learn so we can learn how to do things better. And so it's important. So I want to break this up a little bit. So one thing that I do is, whether it's being recorded by video or by audio, I always go back. But specifically, the It Matters podcast and a lot of the speaking that I do does get video recorded. So I go look at the video, and I want to see how I moved. I want to see how I presented myself. Did I wear the clothes that I should have or shouldn't have? Did it actually make me look, not presentable? What is it? I want to go look how I communicate with my body language. And that is super important. And don't be judgy on yourself. Go and say, I want to improve. I want to come from a posture of growing. I go listen. The It Matters podcast is the prime example. I always, at the very least, always listen to myself. I listen to how I ask questions. I listen to how I presented a thought. I listened to how I sounded that day. Was I sick? Did I stumble and mumble some words? What is it? And can I improve on it? Do I use those filler words like ums and buts and all these words that end up just being fillers to try to get me to catch up to my thought process, and realizing actually these filler words are not actually wise for me to use, and it's okay to slow down. It's okay for me to think and allow the audience to not only catch up, but to also maybe process what I'm saying. And so all of this is part of that learning process, because we don't just want to go in and reflect on what we said. We don't want to just reflect on what we did. We actually want to take that and apply it to make us better. It's super important for us to do this so we can actually master our craft, so we can actually become excellent leaders at what we do. And so this could be applied in a lot of different arenas, but in this area of communication, if you don't reflect and you don't go back and watch this game film that we're talking about, well, then how are you ever going to get proper feedback? Yeah, I mean, you might have people around you, you might have people that are honest, but sometimes people can be nice and they don't want to hurt your feelings. And sometimes they don't want to, tell you the truth. Now, there's something to be said, and maybe this isn't a podcast for another time, where we need to have people around us that are truth tellers, that are willing to help us grow and help us and guide us and coach us along the way and mentor us. But this is something that you could do on your own, and you can go back and say, okay, I'm going to go watch this so that I can be informed and know what I need to work on. So listen, the idea behind this is, when we go watch this game film of ourselves communicating and speaking on stage, or doing a podcast, or when we do a YouTube episode, the idea is that we want to go see what we did well. I think that an undervalued skill set or an undervalued practice is celebrating what we've done well. You need to allow yourself to celebrate, because we tend to be so hard on ourselves. We tend to play a comparison game. We tend to want to be like those people that have been speaking for 20, 30, 40 years, and maybe you're just getting started. Maybe you just have months underneath your belt, or even a year or two. Hey, relax. Have some grace on yourself, because you're going in the right direction, but you're not there yet. So go and celebrate what you've done well. Can you actually note it down? What did you do well? What were you happy about? And note it down and allow that to fill you. Be positive about that. Now, yes, you're going to review this recording, this video, and you are going to have a strategy behind that. Yeah, you will critique yourself a bit, because that's important. You want to be able to say, hey, that's not what that's not how I want it to sound. That's not what I wanted to do. That's not how I want it to look like. So focus on the details. Watching this game film allows you to, yes, celebrate, but watch the details of it. There's good and bad in that. And so what are those details that you want to pay attention to? And, if you make communication as regular as I do, then don't get overwhelmed by trying to change everything at once. What can you change today and that you'll apply next week or tomorrow, and allow yourself to grow one step at a time? I think sometimes we want to change so much that we don't change anything at all, or we continue to make the same mistakes over and over, or we fix one thing, but we go back and make the mistakes that we fixed the other day again. And so we want to be purposeful. We want to be intentional. So when we analyze, we're talking about the how, we're talking about the why. This is everything I'm sharing here is what sports and professionals do. And so I think it applies in this arena as well. And there's so much we can learn from athletes. And that's why I love talking about this. So we want to analyze, like, how do we do that? If there's something that you can't seem to get right, well, then you go and figure it out and you go, okay, let's bring this to practice. I hope that all of you that are communicating in some sort of group or stage or whatever, I really do hope that you're practicing ahead of time, that you're not just winging it, that you're not just going up there and saying, hey, I'm going to figure it out as I go. There's a time and place for that sometimes, for sure, where we stretch ourselves. But hey, do not underestimate the power of practice. And we should always be practicing. I always practice when I'm going to communicate, especially if it's a situation where I'm communicating on stage to hundreds of people. I'm always going to prioritize the time before and not take that for granted. The people that you're going to communicate to deserve better. And you need to not only see that as a privilege, but not take that for granted. You have an opportunity to communicate your heart, your vision, what you believe in, and you probably have the potential to transform lives and giving them quality information that they're going to be able to make a decision after they hear you that could change the trajectory of their life, could change how they lead their families, how they lead their businesses, how they do everything. And so I want to make sure that you comprehend how important this is. Are you a note taker? We've talked about this in different elements on this podcast, but do you take notes on yourself, and do you hold yourself accountable when you're doing that, so then you could become the best version of yourself? There's so much that we can do this, and especially if we're leading teams, there's another thing that we can talk about, what it looks like to watch the game film together. But in this episode, we're talking about just an individual assessment. And so what are you doing to lead better? What are you doing to communicate better? What are you doing to improve yourself? I saw a video a while back of a communicator that was talking about not only should you listen to yourself, not only should you look at yourself and how you are doing the communication, but there's something about listening to yourself only. There's something about watching yourself and listening to yourself at the same time. And there's also something that's really important about where you take off the audio and you watch yourself and just see your mannerisms. Now, it takes work. And you're thinking, Walter, man, this takes time. Hey, but if you're serious about mastering your craft, then I would encourage you to focus on these details, because you ain't going to get better by accident. You got to do that with intention. You got to do that on purpose. And that's the idea behind this. As we become better as leaders, if we're going to be the best that we can be, and we're going to become better, it is going to be it's going to be done on purpose. We're going to have to do it with intention, or you can't expect to get better. And especially some of us that are going to pursue a business where we're going to get paid for communicating, or we're going to get paid to coach or add value. Well, you better bring your best, and you better try your best. And so allow this to be something to think about. This is an episode that is straight to the point, basic and simple, and you're going, okay, what am I supposed to do with that? Well, go back. If there's anything I want you to take out of this, I don't want you to just be a person or a leader that reflects. I want you to be a person of action that goes and listens and learns and looks at what they're doing and actually applies the good things, continues to do the good things, grabs the bad things, changes it, improves on it, and becomes a better leader. All right. So I want you to walk out today and going, am I looking, listening, and learning on my communication? Am I actually taking the time to go back after I have done a speech, after I have spoken on stage, after I've done a podcast, after I've done a video on social media, after I've done a video on YouTube? Go back and learn. Don't regret that you're not perfect. Just take that and grow as you go. We talk about that all the time. It's all about growing. It's about enjoying the process, learning from our failures, learning from our mistakes. Failure doesn't have to be final. It can be the beginning of us just getting better. All right. I appreciate all of you. Thank you for joining me on another episode. Follow us, pass this along, share this with somebody who needs to hear it, and we'll catch you in the next episode, because it's a win-win when the leader leads well.